Welcome everyone to this special Making an Impact YouTube edition. I know it's very late. This is a Monday. Impact Wrestling was this past Thursday. I had originally recorded something and it just didn't come out right, and I wasn't going to post anything. But in light of some things that have happened, I decided I was going to post a review, and then I've got to give my opinion on news that broke today concerning Impact Wrestling as it stands on Spike TV. So let's get started with last night's Impact, this past Thursday's, Impact Wrestling. Okay, well, it started off with Bobby Roode versus MVP in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Bobby Roode comes out, he gets a good pop, he gets a pretty damn good pop, and they're waiting on the MVP. His music's playing, and he doesn't come out. And then we go backstage. He's arguing with Kurt Angle, saying, my knee, I'm not going out there, I'm not going out there. Anyway, Bobby Roode comes back there. They start brawling, and they start slugging it out, going back and forth, and it goes through the crowds. They hit each other. Bobby Roode hits MVP with a garbage can. They make their way toward the ring. Bobby Roode, MVP, cheap shots Roode, and Roode spits beer in his face. Roode low blows him with the guardrail and the barricade, and hits him a few times before it all comes down. Kenny King comes down, tries to run in and interfere, and of course no DQ in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Fortunately, Eric Young comes out, counteracts Kenny King. They chase each other to the back. It keeps going. MVP grabs a chair. He starts using it on Bobby Roode, knocking him down, and starts mocking him and such. Roode is able to get the chair away from MVP and starts nailing him in the knee with it. And he after a couple shots to the knee, puts him in sharpshooter and makes MVP tap out, giving Bobby Roode the win. Is this feud over? I don't know. I don't want it to be over. I think they need a send-off match, and this ain't a send-off match to me. I think this is just a warm-up match, so I think one more time we need to see a match from these guys. I think a real good match between Bobby Roode and MVP at 100%. It's going to be awesome. So let's move on. Jeff Hardy come out and made an announcement that even he gave it his all last week. Yada. And he also said, "You haven't seen the last of Willow. Willow will be returning. Sometimes he feels like putting on masks. Sometimes he doesn't." Okay, well, you know the old saying in professional wrestling, sometimes we say, oh, this has never happened. Hell would freeze over before it would happen. Like Bret Hart coming back to WWE after the Montreal screw job, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart hugging it out, and Matt Hardy returning to TNA. That's right, Matt Hardy. This is the same guy that burnt bridges with WWE, burnt bridges with TNA. But as they say, as the old saying goes, never say never in the wrestling business, because, yes, Matt Hardy made his return to TNA. And he talked about he was at a point in his life where he had to get mentally, physically, and emotionally well. And he's all that now, and that he's not apologizing for past mistakes. He's here to prove by actions, and says it's time for him and his brother to prove that they are the greatest tag team of all time, and that there's one little accomplishment that they haven't done as a tag team, and that's the TNA tag team titles, currently held by the Wolves. And they make a very good point of pointing out that currently right now the best team is the Wolves. Well, the Wolves come out, and you get a little congratulatories going back and forth, and the Wolves finally accept Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy's challenge. And this upcoming Thursday on Impact Wrestling, which is Destination X, we will see for the TNA World Tag Team titles the Hardy Boys Matt and Jeff Hardy taking on the Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, the Wolves for the TNA Tag Team titles. Should be an excellent match. I don't expect the Hardys to win the titles, but hey, you never know. But I'm pretty 100% confident they're not, but still should be a damn good match. Can't wait to see it. We're going to find out how good the Wolves really, really are. Okay, talking about surprise returns and talking about guys we never thought we'd see back in TNA. Loki, aka Senshai, made his return to TNA and took on DJZ, aka Zema Ion. Decent match. Basically, Fisherman, he dominated DJZ. Ion never hardly was able to get any real offense in. It was a quick match. It wasn't a fast match, and Loki won it with the Fisherman's driver to get the win. It's interesting. We do know Destination X is coming up, and with the possibility of the X Division title possibly being vacated, it's a possibility that Loki will be in the be in a possible tournament for the title. But that's not known yet because we don't know if Aries has given up the title yet, or do we? I don't want to spoil things. I'm sure you guys already know. So, but anyway. Great to see Loki back. What's he going to do in the X Division? I don't know. How long is he going to be around? I don't know. You know, he did say he was going to retire, but you know how that goes in wrestling. So we'll just have to wait and see with Loki what's going to happen. But hey, you know, I always thought he was a good X Division. X Division guy. You know, he had that run in TNA. I mean WWE. He was in NXT season 2, and he had Michelle McCool and Layla as his mentors. Yeah, and they dressed him up in that pink jacket. Oh my, yeah. So anyway, he didn't even get to do much in WWE. So you know, it's one of those. Hey, you know. It's going to be, have to wait and see what he's going to do in TNA. I don't think it's going to be a long stay. I just think he's there for a short term, and that's about it. And we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen next. Be interesting to see, but hey, we'll find out what's going to happen. Magnus and Bram taking on Ken Anderson, Mr. Anderson, and Gunner in a tag team match. Very interesting. Before the match, Gunner was back in the back locker room with Samuel Shaw. They were chatting back and forth, and Mr. Anderson approaches and says, "I do not want you out there. I do not want you sticking your nose in our business. We have a tag team match." Talking to Gunner, he says, "Now get your mind focused." Samuel Shaw tries to apologize, but Anderson says, "I ain't having none of it," and tells him, "Stay out of the match. Don't you even come near that ring." So, okay. Now, this was not a bad match. It was okay. Went back and forth. At one point, Anderson went for the mic check, but Magnus was able to roll to the outside. It was Magnus hit this real nice spine buster, or spine shaker. I don't know why they call it spine shaker, but that's what they are calling it. Match went back and forth. It finally just came down to it was back and forth, but the spine shaker that I'm talking about, that's what they Magnus hit to get the win, and it was pretty interesting. It was a quick match. It wasn't fast. Anyway, Bram, of course, attacks Anderson after the bell, and they all four brawl, and Bram goes for the turnbuckle wrench, and he's going to hit Gunner. He had low blowed him first before going to get the wrench. Samuel Shaw runs down and tries to stop Bram and gets in the way and takes the shot for Gunner. He takes a shot in the stomach with the wrench from Bram. So Gunner tries to sweep Bram's legs, and he's able to get him down. But of course, Magnus attacks him, so they're all jumping him. And then Abyss, the monster, comes down. He chases everyone away. He brawls with Bram, knocks him out of the ring. So it looks like they're teasing a Bram versus Abyss. We'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. I think it'd be interesting, but who knows? Who knows? And I look for either Anderson turned heel or Gunner turned heel with Samuel Shaw. One or the other is going to happen. But I see a feud between Gunner and Anderson. Also, I think there's a small fact that everybody has seemed to have forgotten. Gunner possesses the briefcase for a TNA Tag Team title shot that he won from EC3, which means that if he chooses, he can pick any partner he wants to take a shot at the tag team titles, which are currently held by the Wolves. So don't be surprised if we see Samuel Shaw and Gunner as a tag team, and possibly your TNA tag team champions. Stranger things have happened, but it is possible. Okay, Thursday night was the night we were going to find out. Was Aries going to vacate the TNA X Division title to get that TNA World Heavyweight title shot? Was he going to cash in option C? Well, he gave a big spew talking about things until he was interrupted by MVP, who came down with the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Lashley. Lashley stood there and he was silent and stared a hole at Aries while MVP did all the talking. MVP talked about, well, you're not all as great as you think you are. Bobby Lashley's stronger than you, he's faster than you, he's got more power, and he's going to be the heavyweight champion, and you don't want to mess with Lashley, and I respect what you've done with the X Division title, but you need to stick with what you know best. Aries, of course, said that it's not how tough you are on the outside, it's how tough you are on the inside. And they said, when I beat you for that title, and he made an indication to make it clear, when, not if, that I'm going to go with option D. I'll defend this title against the X Division champion anytime, any place, anywhere. Just not at not only at X Division X. Destination X. That's a mouthful. Anyway, Aries made it clear that he's got some unfinished business with that title, meaning he wants to hold on to that title longer than he did in his first reign. As you know, he held it from Destination X to Bound for Glory when in 2012 when Jeff Hardy defeated him for the title. So Aries hands the title over to Angle and says, it's going to be you and me next week. Lashley just simply said, simply told him, says, you don't know what you're getting into. Basically told him, it's on. So, should be a great match. I hate that the fact these things have been taped well in advance. I don't read the spoilers and such, so we'll just have to wait and see. I know the spoilers are out there, so a lot of people already know what's going to happen, but I don't like spoilers, so I don't read them. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like. Bobby Lashley was pretty impressive in his match against Jeff Hardy. So let's see what's going to happen with Austin Aries. I'm for it. I want to see what's going to happen. Okay. As you know, Taryn Terrell has recently returned back from TNA after a hiatus, having her baby girl. And she immediately was introduced back by Gail Kim, a longtime rival. We all know there are two great matches in 2013. the last knockout standing match from Slammiversary, which saw Taryn Terrell get the win when she hit the stunner off the rampway on Gail Kim. Then who could forget the ladder match where Gail Kim defeated Taryn Terrell. So they each have one match over the other. So tonight, or last Thursday night, we got the rubber match between Taryn and Gail, but this time the stakes were higher because the TNA Knockouts title was on the line. The match started off slow, and I think that was because Taryn was not used to wrestling in the six-sided ring. Gail had some experience with the six-sided ring, but Taryn has never wrestled in the six-sided ring up until Thursday night. It went back and forth. It started off a little sluggish, but Gail hit this nice toss suplex off the top rope. It was, it was nice. And then she went for eat the feet, but it was amazing that Taryn blocked it, and then she had a nice snap suplex. Then she turned around and hit this nice spinning net breaker. I mean, it was really nice, but it was close. It was like neck and neck until, of course, you guessed it, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky came down and interfered in the match, causing a no contest. In other words, there was no winner. Gail stays the champion. So we don't have that, true rubber match. I think that we'll see another match between Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim for that Knockouts title. And as it stands right now, who will be the champion, I don't know, and I'll explain that later on in the show. I always said that by the end of 2014, Taryn Terrell would be the TNA Knockouts champion, and now that's that's in doubt. And again, at the end of the show, I'll explain why I'm saying that. So moving on, the Great Muta. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to spoil things. The Great Muta made his return, sort of, to TNA. He was recently at Lockdown this past spring. Anyway, he came out and was introduced by Jimmy Borash until they were interrupted by Robbie E., who says, dude, I'm relevant, you're not, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we wound up having a match. Muta sprays the green mist in Robbie's face, and then it's like a corkscrew net breaker, followed by the Shining Wizard. Bing, bang, a boom. It's done. The Great Muta is the winner. Then the Cowboy James Storm comes down and confronts Muta, saying, he's tired of these has-been legends coming into his ring. That it was his body and work that built TNA from the ground, which is true. He was there from day one. And he calls Muta a fraud, a wash-up fake. And then he spits beer in his face, saying, where I come from, we don't spit green mist. Anyway, they get into a fisticuffs, and then Sonata comes down and acts like he's going to try to help Muta. He has a steel chair in his hand, and I knew what was going to happen, so I counted it down. Sure enough, Sonata nails Muta with the chair. Heel turn, and then after the beatdown, he goes out and he bows toward James Storm and such. So Sonata turns heel. He teaming up with James Storm. Are we going to see a match between these four? Muta having a tag team partner and facing Storm and Sonata? Don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. It's kind of interesting. Storm, one of the best talents on the roster, but he's just kind of in a ruckus, and they're just trying to find a place for him. He's not in the title picture. He's not in a tag team, so it's hard to find him, something for him to do. But it's kind of interesting to put him with Sonata. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen with that. But, it was sort of interesting, nevertheless. So we got to the final of the night. It's the New York City Street Fight match. It's EC3, Rhino and Rockstar Spud taking on the reunited Team 3D, Bully Ray and Devon, along with Tommy Dreamer. I mean, they used everything they can get their hands on, and they beat the crap out of Rockstar Spud and EC3. I mean, it was a brawl. At one point, they did the "What's Up" on EC3, I believe. Yeah, it was EC3. They threw Rockstar Spud out of the ring. It was just amazing. At one point, Rhino tried to gore Devon, but Devon was able to get out of the way, kicked him and whipped him into a trash can. It was just Spud tried to attack Team 3D, but they hit him with the Doomsday, and that was like devastating. I mean, it was just it was brutal. At one point, they hung EC3 in the corner in Trio Woe, and Tommy Dreamer hit him with a drop kick with a trash can in front of his face. I mean, it was pretty brutal, and it was, you know, they took it all out. Toward the end of the match, a hooded guy come across the guardrails and attacked Bully, and or attacked Devon, hitting Devon, and then security went after him, and Bully grabbed him and tackled him, and such. They all said they knew who it was, or they said, "Hey, I know him. The ring announcers, and then Tommy Dreamer was in the ring. He hits Rockstar Spud with the pile driver, and then DDT's EC3 and gets the kendo stick, and he sets him up for another pile driver. But another hooded man comes in the ring and attacks Dreamer, and it's revealed to be former WWE superstar Ezekiel Jackson, Big Zeke. Anyway, Ethan uses the distraction, and he hits the 1%er on Tommy Dreamer using a steel chair, and gets the 1-2-3 and gets the win for his team. So it looks like now Dixie Carter's stable is growing. She now has EC3, Rhino, Rockstar Spud, King Mo, who made his return, and now the hooded man who turned out to be Gene Snitsky, and Big Zeke. So it's going to be interesting to see how long is Big Zeke and Gene Snitsky going to be around. Are they there permanently? Are they going to be a permanent part of the TNA roster? Are they there for a temporary run? No telling. We'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. So that was it for this week's Impact Wrestling. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was solid. Nothing bad. I give it a 7 overall. So let's get to the news that everybody's been talking about today. It's broke out all over websites. TMZ's reported on this. It's been all over the internet. Everybody's got an opinion on it and such. You know, it's got the wrestling community shaken, and rightfully so. Anyway, what it is, it was announced today that Spike TV would not be renewing TNA's TV deal, that Impact Wrestling was in fact essentially canceled, meaning after their contract expires, their current TV deal, there would be no more Impact Wrestling on TV. This is devastating news for TNA, because without a U.S. TV deal, they are dead in the water. There's no way they can do U.S. tours, house shows through the U.S. without a TV deal. It's going to be very difficult for them, and not to do do across the U.S., the 48 states. And then on top of that, you know, they still have TV deals over. I believe they have a TV deal in Germany. They have a TV deal in England. I know they have a TV deal in England. And I think they recently signed a TV deal in Japan, but don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% sure. And I also think they have a TV deal in Australia also. I'm not 100% sure on the latters. But the point is that the overseas deals is not enough, in my opinion, to keep TNA relevant. If they cannot get a TV deal in the U.S., they are, for all intents and purposes, screwed. And this, to me, is a very sad thing. Whether you like TNA or hate TNA or whatever, you got to realize that in the grand scheme of things, this is bad for everybody. It's bad for the talent, It's bad for the people who work behind the scenes, the guys who work in the production truck, the guys who put the rings together, the guys who do the lighting. I mean, it's bad for everybody, but more importantly, it's bad for us wrestling fans. Okay, we know WWE is the top dog. Has been for the past 20 years, always probably will be. I don't think there's anybody who's going to come along and be able to, knock them off their mountaintop. Because nobody has the money to do it. That's the problem. It takes the almighty dollar. The only person who is capable of doing it is no longer in the wrestling business, and to be quite honest, he didn't know that much about the wrestling business in the first place, and that was Ted Turner. So, with that being said, to me, I hate to see TNA go. I really, really do. I like TNA. I like all the stars: Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, Cowboy James Storm, Samoa Joe, four of my favorite guys, and much more. But more importantly, they have probably one of the best women's division on TV. The Knockouts are by far run circles around the Divas. They allow their women to wrestle. They have been on several times main evented the show. Some of the women's matches are probably could knock out the guys for match of the year. Taryn Terrell versus Gail Kim, last knockout standings match from Slammiversary, one match that comes to my mind. Another match would be Awesome Kong versus Gail Kim in a street fight match. Another match that comes to my mind, and probably my second favorite women's match of all time had to be Mickie James versus Tara inside Steel Cage back in December of 2010. So, that's one of the things that I like that TNA did better than WWE. Also, you had the X Division where you had these smaller guys who were able to put on these great matches that wouldn't get that kind of opportunity in the WWE. But another thing that I want to talk about that TNA does, in my mind, better than the WWE, and I know for a fact because I've experienced both sides of the fence now, and that is TNA gives you a better fan experience for a more affordable price. Bottom line, okay? And I'm going to explain why I make that statement. I'm going to start with WWE. And you probably, if you know me and you've probably read my reviews and you've listened to the Wrestling Debate podcast, you probably have heard this. So I apologize if I'm rehashing. But for you guys who haven't or don't know or whatever, my family, for my birthday, bought me the WWE VIP Superstar Experience package. And I was super psyched and I was happy about this. And, I was just, as it got closer, I couldn't sleep. So when I got to the event, everything was going good. And, we get the meet and greet. And I'm thinking, hey, we're going to meet at least 3 or 4 superstars. I didn't expect to meet, everybody because that would be ridiculous. And I didn't expect to meet John Cena because I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I figured, hey, I'll meet a couple of the mid-card guys or a diva, and, that'd be cool, And, got to meet Cesaro. Awesome dude. Very cool. Very, not cocky or anything. He was, just a very approachable, friendly guy. And, of course, Sheamus. I got to meet Sheamus, the current United States champion. Sheamus is very cool, very approachable, and I actually have something in common with Sheamus. Sheamus, before he got into the wrestling business, worked in the IT field, and that's what I do for a living. Unfortunately, I can't make money at this. If I could, I'd be doing this 24/7 to the dismay of my wife. Anyway, so we sit there and we chat about IT stuff for a couple of minutes. So it was kind of cool, and of course, I got my pictures with them. I got my picture with the WWE title and stuff, and a guy hat, a scarf, a bag, a poster, and I got to take the steel chair home. Okay, that's all nice and dandy, but still, the only stars I met were Sheamus and Cesaro. Now, granted, they brought Charles Robinson out, the referee, everybody knows, Lil Nate, but with no disrespect to Charles Robinson, who was very nice and super friendly, he's not a WWE superstar. And, I think, for two superstars, that's not good. And granted, I had a front row seat. By going through the night, it started getting unbearable because of the kids. And then on top of that, during intermission, I was trying to get a good picture of the ring announcer, Eden, a.k.a. Brandy Rhodes. And I was asked the security guard, and he approached her, and he's like, yeah, it should be over in just a minute. Yeah. Well, went on. She sat over on the opposite side of the ring chanting with fans and never came over. It totally stunned me. Couldn't believe it. So, anyway. And it just got worse throughout the night. So by the time I left the show, I was disappointed and, frustrated. Now, let me talk about TNA. I've been to 5 TNA house shows. 5, okay? And I have never left a TNA house show disappointed. And 3 of the 5 house shows I've been to, I have sat front row ringside, and I've had great seats. The last house show I went to was in Dothan, Alabama this past January. I had the best front row seats I've ever had. We were by the entranceway, and our seats were right in the corner where the entranceway curves. And I let my niece have the seat right by the guardrails because she's never sat front row. It was kind of cool. She could slap hands with the wrestlers coming and going. It was really cool, and I think she had a great time. I know I had a great time. And I got to meet everybody on the card, on that particular card. Everybody. I got to meet Austin Aries, EC3, Eric Young, Gunner, Chris Sabin, Gail Kim, Madison Rain, Bully Ray, Bobby Roode, Magnus, Samoa Joe, and the Cowboy James Storm. I met everybody on the card, got their autographs, okay, and I did this, not count my niece's and my sister's ticket, because my sister went with me to help me with my niece, but not counting their tickets, just my ticket alone, and the cost that I spent on getting the VIP pass, buying the action figure to go backstage to get my picture and autograph with Austin Aries, and to get my picture with an autograph with Madison Rain. Grand total, $150. Okay, that's 4 times less than what my family spent on the WWE VIP package, and I had a better experience because I got to meet everybody. And let me tell you something: the TNA superstars are like all super friendly and very approachable. Jimmy J makes sure that the fans have one hell of a great time. In case you didn't know, Jimmy J is the guy who does all the promotion at the house shows for the merchandise and everything. He is Don West's successor. Very nice. Guys always took great care of me, and he makes sure you have one hell of an experience at a house show. And also, I've gotten to meet some of the great stars. Without TNA, I doubt I would have ever gotten to meet AJ Styles, the Cowboy James Storm, Bobby Roode, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, the hardcore legend, Sarita, Brooke Tazmacher, Austin Aries, the greatest man that ever lived, and also the greatest women's wrestler in my mind of all time, Mickie James. And I'll tell you, if it wasn't for TNA, I don't think I'd ever gotten to meet any of them. So, it's sad to me that with TNA losing this TV deal, that they could potentially be going under. And to me, that's very sad. And as far as I'm concerned, the real losers in all of this is us wrestling fans. Whether you like TNA or you don't, it's us that's going to lose. And to me, if you are wishing and laughing and high-fiving yourself about TNA going under, then you need to pull your head out of your ass, because this is not good for any wrestling fan, whether you like TNA or don't. So, anyway, sorry about this being posted late. Hey, I appreciate you watching. This one will be back. Making an Impact will be back to written format. My work schedule is kind of stabilized better, so I'll be able to watch Impact Wrestling live now instead of having to tape it and watch it next day, which is really nice to dismay of my wife. But yeah, it's very nice. So anyway, hey, thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and catch you all next week. And don't forget to check out the Wrestling Debate. Of course, you know we're going to be talking about this topic with TNA and Spike TV. Now, I will give you a little update. The latest of what I've read on the web, and Viacom or Spike TV execs say per Viacom's policies, they do not comment on ongoing negotiations. Dixie Carter claims that negotiations are still going. So it appears maybe the people are jumping the gun, but who knows? We just gotta wait and see. According to a lot of things I've read, this Impact Wrestling that I just reviewed did extremely well. So maybe they'll take it. The Spike TV execs will take it in consideration. But the big reason why everybody's saying that they're pretty much canceled is because supposedly Spike TV doesn't want anything to do with Vince Russo, who is back with TNA. He's in a creative consultant position, meaning he doesn't. He's on their payroll, but he's not in their offices or anything like that. He works from home, and he communicates to them via email and such. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know what the problems they have with Vince Russo, but the point is that at this point whether you like Vince Russo or not, he has been responsible for some great TV. He's also been responsible for some bad TV. And you can say that about Vince McMahon. You can say that about Eric Bischoff. Let's put it this way: Vince Russo didn't kill TNA in 2010. It was Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. So anyway, guys, thank you. Don't forget to check out the Wrestling Debate this Saturday, and check out my good buddy John Mayer. He's the leader of the Mayer Nation, the Overlord. Check out his weekly Blog Talk Radio show, An Independent Point of View. It's going to be this Wednesday, and he's going to be talking about talking about the situation with TNA. And you never know, the sensational one might drop in himself and have a few words. So appreciate you guys taking and watching, and we'll catch you all, like I said, this Saturday on the Wrestling Debate, and check out MayorNation.com. We'll see you later.